Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Christian Apologist podcast. I hope you're having a very, very blessed week. This past week, I got approached and was questioned about if we truly are free, if we really do have free choice, or did God predestine and predetermine all of our thoughts, all of our actions, and everything that we are going to do. So today's episode is going to be about that. So if God knows all things, and He already knows every choice we will ever make, then are we truly free beings? I mean, are our lives predestined? Whether we pray or not doesn't affect God's decision making, because if it did, then He wouldn't be the perfect being we know Him to be. That means God would be changing His mind constantly. Now, prayers change our outlook, and it changes us from within, but it doesn't change God or His mind or His decisions on what is going to happen. God lives outside the realm of time, and everything has already happened for Him. Although we're just experiencing it or in the process of experiencing it, the Bible says that God predetermined when we will be born, where we will be born, where we will live, and when we will be taken from this life and ushered into eternal life. So, are we actually free? Do our decisions even matter if God already knows what we're going to decide? Yes, absolutely yes. Our decisions matter, and no, our lives are not predestined. Now, how do I know this? Because if we weren't free to make our own choices, then sin wouldn't exist. Let me say that one more time. If we weren't free to make our own choices, then sin would not exist. You got to look at it like this. If God created us without free will, then we wouldn't be able to commit sin, because that would mean that God predetermined us to sin, and God doesn't want anyone to sin, because God's very nature is the complete opposite of sin, and then the only way to wash away our sins was through the blood of His only Son, Jesus Christ. Don't you think that God, being all-knowing, why would He predestine us to sin, knowing He would have to send His only begotten Son down to earth to be tortured, beaten, and crucified when He had done nothing wrong and He lived a perfect life? It's also through our free will that we are able to sin and to commit sin. Now, does God know all things? Yes, He does. Does God know who will and who won't make it into heaven? Yes, once again, God knows that. God knows when and where we will be born and die. Does that make us not free to make choices? No, absolutely not. And here's why. Because just because God knows the ending doesn't mean we don't control what we do now. Does that make sense? You got to look at it like this. Let's suppose tonight your favorite football team is going to come on and they're playing their most rival team, but you are not going to be able to watch it as it happens. So you are going to record it on your DVR. Now, later on, you're driving home to watch the game that you just recorded, and your buddy happens to call you and gives you the score. Don't you hate it when guys do that? Don't ever call and give your buddy the score. Just for future information, call him and ask him if he has seen the game first. And then, if he says yes, you can talk about the game. And if he hasn't, well, then you don't spoil it for him. Don't do this. But let's say your buddy does call and he gives you the score. He says something like, "Man, I can't believe we lost by 7 points in the last inning." Whatever. But you still decide to go home and you watch the game anyways because you want to see how it plays out. Now, just because you already know what the end score is and you already know who wins, does that mean that the players on the field didn't have free choice to make those decisions that they had made? Of course they did, right? You knowing the end score doesn't change how things played out in the game. And the same is with God. God created us to have free will, because without free will, we wouldn't have love. And love, by definition, has to be freely given. God could not give us free will and not give us free and not he cannot give us free will and then not give us free will at the exact same time. And now why is that? Because for one, it breaks the laws of logic. Two, there are some things not even God can do. Yes, you heard me right, people. There are some things that God cannot do. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, he is blaspheming God, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but hear me out. Can God create a married bachelor? No, that's impossible, right? You can't have a bachelor and he's married. You can't do that. God can't create a married bachelor. God can't create a square circle. Think about that. He can't create a square that is a circle at the exact same time. These are some things God can do. God cannot give people free will who do not sin. With free will comes the possibility of sin, because it is through our free will that we commit this sin, that we rebel against God and we go our own way. So if God wanted robots, he could have created robots, and therefore there would be no sin because we would not have free will. But without free will, God wanted a creature. He wanted human beings to love him in return. He wanted to love them, and he wanted them to love him in return. That's why we have free will. That's why we have sin. It is because of us. It is us that chose to rebel against God. Guys, we're going to take a quick break to give a shout out to our sponsor. Stay tuned to the second half of the Christian Apologist podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to the Christian Apologist podcast. Thank you for sticking with us. We are talking about if we have free will and if our lives are predestined, predetermined. So basically it's not our choice, it's just what God chose for us, and we're basically just living through it. That's what we're discussing today. And I just want to talk about something real quick off the subject, because we're talking about free will, and it's through free will that we have sin. And I don't know if a lot of you know this or not, or if you ever paid attention to this, but I just want to read a couple of things for you real quick. And you can give me your feedback. You can send me your email or send it to my email, whatever you want to do. But did you ever notice that after God created Adam and he put him in the garden, and we're talking about the knowledge of the tree of knowledge, and the Lord commanded the man, this is going to be in Genesis 2:16, and this is what it says. And the Lord God commanded the man, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden. Verse 17, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die. I want you to notice that God says that you must not eat from it, or you will certainly die. Now, we're going to skip ahead over here to Genesis 3. We're going to just start at verse 1. And verse 1 says, now the serpent, speaking of Satan, was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, did God really say to you, you must not eat from any tree in the garden? Verse 2 says, the woman, which is Eve, said to the serpent, we may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die. Now, what I'm trying to point out is, in verse 2:16, God tells Adam, you can't eat of it, or you will die. But yet, when the devil just asked Eve, hey, did God say you must not eat from this, from any tree? He was trying to trick her. And she says, no, God says we can eat from any tree, but he says we can't eat from this one or touch it and we will die. See, if you notice, she had free will there, and she chose to lie before she even bit in to the fruit. Eve chose to lie. She was speaking of God, saying, and we must not touch it. Nowhere did God say you can't touch it. He said, don't eat of it. So I just wanted to point that out real quick, because we're talking about free will and sin. And I just always thought it was funny how a lot of people think that it's when she bit into the fruit is when she committed the sin. And that's not when she That's not when the sin entered the world. The sin entered the world the minute she lied and said that God said we must not touch it, because nowhere does he say you must not touch it. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of info on that. You can give me your feedback. I can handle it. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like being taught new things, especially when they've been told things their whole entire lives. But there's a little bit of information about free will and sin, and it had nothing to do with her biting into the apple. She was sinning before she even bit into the apple. But for those who claim there is no free will and that all things are predetermined, I believe they are using God to sit on his lap and slap him in the face. Now, what do I mean by that? They want to blame God for their wrong behavior, and they just can't accept the responsibility for their own actions. They don't want them to be a judge. They do not want to think about someone is going to judge them for all the wrongdoings they have done while on earth when this life is over. So therefore, they want to blame God. And I mean, I can't imagine how that's going to work out when they finally do pass away and they're standing before God, the creator of all things, the one who knows all things. And they are going to try to blame him for their sins. Could you imagine standing in front of the living God, blaming him because of what you have done on earth? That is going to be ridiculous. I would not want to be in their shoes, but it's going to happen. Without free will, though, there's no such thing as true love. True love would not exist. I mean, what are your thoughts on this matter? Do you believe that your choices are made freely? Or do you believe that all things are predetermined? Do you think God predetermined your entire life from beginning to end, all your actions, all your thoughts, and all the world, every single human being, before they were even created, before the world was even created? What do you think about that? Tell me your thoughts. My email is richard@thechristianapologist.org. I would love to get some feedback up on this. I'd like to hear your thoughts. If they just think that God's going to get in their way of their happiness, which what they don't understand is it's with God and through God you truly experience what real happiness is. In fact, on the website scientificamerican.com, this is what they're quoted saying. Many philosophers say the instinct is wrong to think that you have free will. According to their view, free will is a figment of our imagination. No one has it or ever will. Rather, our choices are either determined, necessary outcomes of the events that have happened in the past, or they are random choices. Just because God knows what your free will choices are going to be doesn't mean God predestined or predetermined what that free will choice would be. It's almost the same as if saying, if I stick a bowl of Halloween candy in front of a 2-year-old and a bowl of broccoli in front of the 2-year-old, I already know which one the child is going to choose, right? We already know that. But just because we know what that child is going to choose does not prevent that child from making that choice, or it doesn't cause that child to make a certain choice. God simply knows what we have chosen to do ahead of time. That's what God knows. And because he knows that, does not stop him, or it doesn't, stop us from making a free choice, and it doesn't cause him to point us to a different decision. It's as if me saying, I know tomorrow the sun is going to rise and the sun is going to set. Me knowing the sun is going to rise and the sun set doesn't stop the sun from rising or doesn't prevent the sun from setting, does it? It doesn't give it a choice. It's going to do what it's going to do. And this is the same with us. Just because God knows doesn't stop us from doing what we are going to do. Guys, this was a short episode, but hopefully a good episode. I hope you learned something from this. I hope you can use something from this. I hope it answers any kind of questions anybody might have. If you do have any more questions or if you have any thoughts, please, once again, send us an email at richard@thechristianapologist.org. And please continue to listen every week. If you're listening on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating, leave a comment. Good or bad, we take them all. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Facebook, and you can find us on Instagram. Guys, I hope you have a very, very blessed rest of the week. I hope you tune in again next Wednesday, and God bless.